Hi guys, welcome back. Today I'll be doing a deck review of a clan that I thought is really consistent after BTO9 is being released. This is the Royal Paladin deck. This is the Majestic Lord Blaster deck. Right? This is the restricted deck that's being played in Japan as well. So you can only play like one Wingull Brave and one Majestic Lord Blaster. There are many who says that it is not playable anymore because it is very hard to get Majestic Lord Blaster out. However, with this deck, it is not only consistent in the sense that you don't get to misgrade that often. At the same time, you're able to call out Majestic Lord Blaster as often, or even better. Alright, so I'll be going through. Alright, so first of all, we'll be having the starter, the Wingull Brave. Right. So this is important because this is one of the key cards to call out the Majestic Lord Blaster. Right. This deck focuses a lot on ensuring that you get Majestic Lord Blaster to pressurize other people with the two crits after you get the Blaster Duck and Blaster Blade into your soul. Right. So let's go through the Great Tree first. Right. So in this deck, I only play 4 Great Trees. Right, so some will be wondering, wow, it's quite crazy to play 4 only, right? And even there's 4, this 4th one isn't really that useful. This is more of like a card that I use to make sure that I get some advantage if I don't get to pull out this card, or maybe at end game I try to clear my opponent's field to generate the absolute advantage, right? So the three main Great Tree is Majestic Lord Blaster, 1 Soul Saver Dragon, 2 Soul Saver Dragon, right? The other one is a PR, and lastly, I have my Escapade the Blaster. Alright, I'll be explaining why I'm running 2 Soul Saver Dragons later. So 4, and you can see that even with 4 Great Trees, it's very playable, and this is very much because of the Grade 2s that I'm running. So let's look at the Grade 2s. So firstly, because of BTO9, we get this Blaster Blade Spirit, right? The thing is that with the Wingull Brave boosting behind, right, and if it hits, you can search out a Blaster unit. So the additional Blaster units in BTO9 actually helps to get your Majestic Lord Blaster much easier. So, of course, I run 3 of the Blaster Blade Spirit, 1 of the Blaster Duck. The effect is slightly not as good because because you get to retire the front row, or you only get to retire front row if, let's say, this card is being caught from the deck. But however, you can only choose a Grade 2 and below, and most of the time front rows are either Grade 2 or Grade 3 unless your opponent ran out of cards to actually force a attacker in the front row. So but I still played this because this is a Blaster Duck and Blaster Blade kind of deck. Yeah, so I played 1, and I have four Blaster Blades, right? So there's the PR, and this is another PR from the magazine. So yeah, I got 4 Blaster Blades and 4 Blaster Duck, the very typical build, and I only ran 2 of this. Starcore Trumpeter is very strong in the sense that it can get the missing Blaster units to put into Majestic Lord Blaster, and it can even generate some field advantage with a 10k. You can even get to call this guy out. Yeah. However, it is an 8k on itself. And because there isn't any substantial booster in a Royal Paladin deck, there's only the 8k vanilla that can make this swing to 16. It becomes like a what do you call that? A dead card sometimes when you have it in hand. So because there are so many Blaster units already, I believe it's relevantly easy to get them in hand, and then use MLB's effect to soul charge them. So I only ran 2. Of course, you can run 3, but definitely not 4. Running 4 would be too many. Right. So as you can see, there's a total of, I believe, there's a total of 14. I got 14 grade 2. So the chances of misgrading to grade 2 is almost as low as misgrading to grade 1. Right? So for the fact of misgrading to grade 2 is quite low. So you don't have to be afraid of that. Right, so let's go to grade 1. Okay, of course we have the 4 grade 1 vanilla. And I play 4 of this Poga. This card is a misgrade save function, in the sense that it prevents you to misgrade to grade 3. Right, you got 4, grade 3 only, and among these 4, only 3 is pretty much playable. If you solely were to rely on the on-hit effect of your Wingal Brave to get your Majestic Lord Blaster, your opponent will gut it like crazy, so that you will misgrade to grade 3. However, with this card, and most of the time, you're able to counterblast this at grade 2 or something like that, and search Soul Saver Dragon in your deck, and that will prevent the misgrading. So in situation like, for example, your opponent start first, and then your turn, you attack, and then by the time when your opponent attack you, he's at grade 2, you're at grade 1, and by the time you write your grade 2 and you have this in hand, right, so you can counterblast 1 and Soul Charge to get your Soul Saver Dragon out. So in a way, you won't misgrade to grade 3. Right, so I played 4 of this. So in a sense, I have like 7 grade 3, but with only 4 or something like that. Yeah, and that's why I play 2 Soul Saver Dragon, to prevent just in scenarios where the first damage happens to be a Soul Saver Dragons, you still have another one in your deck, right? So for that, and I play 3 of K. It's a very reliable 7k booster. At the same time, it's a 10k attacker if you have a blaster unit, and given the number of grade 2 blaster units, you can use this to pressurize early. And of course, I play 4 Kanzens. With the current limit break and the break right and stuff like that in Japan, it almost becomes a norm to run 4 of this, because of the high attack and stuff like that. And even things like with the release of BT11, you have your Dollars Drive and stuff like that, which can stand attack again. With substantial Null Guards in hand, you actually can change the whole entire advantage to yours. So now let's move to grade 0. I play 5 draw triggers. Why 5 and not just 4, or even like 6 or stuff like that? 5 is, I believe, is a good number, because you loses feel when you uses MLB effect to Soul Charge your Blaster Duck and Blaster Blade. So you kind of need to replenish your hand, and in situation where you don't get to Soul Charge your Blaster Duck and Blaster Blade early in game, MLB is but a 10k Vanguard, and a 10k Vanguard is very much beatable. Given that many clans have the 12k attacker, the grade 2 attacker, and forming 20k row isn't that much of a difficult thing as compared to in the past. So by having enough draw triggers, and if you check them during damage check and stuff like that, not only can you pass the 5k to your Vanguard, you also get extra cards to guard against your opponent. So I play 5 of that. So this deck requires lots of pressure, in the sense that you are supposed to stop your opponent at 3 damage, and it's very much applicable to the current limit break 4 context, because your opponent will want to reach limit break 4, but with your MLB, given that it has an extra crit, means if let's say you were to drive track another crit during an attack, your opponent will get 3 damage straight. So keeping your opponent at 3 damage will help to improve your game, in the sense that they won't get to tap into the limit break 4 advantage. So I played 7. I used to play 8 crit and 4 draw triggers. However, I realized that I do need the hand size and the few advantage that I lost from Soul Charging Blaster Duck and Blaster Blade. Right, and then lastly, we have 4 heals. Right, heal triggers are really important. I've seen some playing 3 of them. It depends on the deck that you're building on. I believe 4 heals is important, because heal triggers actually save you lots of hand in situation where you take damage early. You don't have to guard much, and then you hope for heal to come out. It's not the best play to expect Hue to come out when you need it, but of course the proper planning on how you expect Hue to come out will actually give you lots of advantage. So basically, in this deck, your starting hand, you will want to have a grade 1 and grade 2. It doesn't matter if you get grade 3 or not, but among your grade 1s, you will want to have one that you can ride on in the first game, and the other one which you can use to counter blast to get your Soul Silver Dragons to prevent the misgrading to grade 3. And of course, depend on the opponent deck that you're playing against. This deck is very much suitable to rush your opponent or to play conservatively, so that your opponent doesn't remove your Wingull Brave. In situation where newer decks like the Narukami have the Lichun, the starter, it can remove your Wingull Brave if your opponent were to start first. So in situation in actual tournament where you're supposed to declare or to check who goes first before you start to draw your cards, you can plan to see that if you need an extra trigger to prevent Lichun from removing your Wingull Brave first, or you can just rush your opponent if, let's say, you were to start first, and yeah, stuff like that, so that Wingull Brave will be gone by then when your opponent have any chance of trying to remove it, and then you'll get your MLB. Right, so I'll be showcasing how this deck performs against current decks and stuff like that. Yeah, so stay tuned. I'll be playing a match probably against Suit Dragons and the current Angel Feathers, or maybe the Aqua Force that many people have raved about. Yeah, so thank you.